Hey everyone, Sparks back with another Goddess Victory Nikke video, and they had to do it, guys. They just had to do it. They couldn't make a bad Alice, of course. I was honestly really hoping to skip this one, but, you know, it's Alice. Shift Up knows that she is a moneymaker for them, so... Alright, let's talk about it. At least the good thing about Alice is that I don't have to break out the glasses to read all that tiny wall of text like I did for Soda. But she is a Burst 1 supporter, Burst 1 kind of, we'll talk about in a second, with a submachine gun and water type. Now, we all know that submachine guns normally just kind of hit like a wet noodle, but Alice is on the higher end of attack. We can see that she deals 10.1% of attack as damage, which is on the higher end for submachine guns. Like way down at the bottom, unfortunately, you have Crow, which is like 5 something, I think, and then the average is about 8%. But this is more comparable to Miranda. She's just slightly lower than Miranda, I think. So she is going to hit harder than a lot of submachine guns. That said, she's a support unit, and we're not really looking to make her do a lot of damage anyway, but I just thought I would point that out. But let's take a look at her skills. So skill 1 says Carrot and Bunny Party. I don't know. I'm sorry. I just can't get excited by Alice. Anyway, Carrot and Bunny Party. Honestly, this is good. This actually like fits her character, and I do kind of like that they went with making her kind of like cute rather than like over sexualization of her. Besides, you know, inherently being in a bunny suit, obviously. But anyway, so activates after 60 normal attacks, affects all allies, and recovers 7.4% of caster's final max HP as HP. And then says Carrot Party, damage to interrupt parts up 2% and stacks 5 times and lasts for 5 seconds. And then it has another effect that we'll talk about right after this. So recovers 7% of caster's final max HP for all allies after 60 normal attacks. That's really good. So she can do this twice in one clip, even without any type of ammo buffs. So final max HP is always good to see on a healer. So any of those overload buffs are going to help out. Any extra copies of her are going to help out. So that's going to happen really often. She's going to be healing very frequently, and I could definitely see that being fairly effective. It does all of your allies, no conditions on that. And then the 2% up to interrupt parts for 5 seconds can stack up to 5 times. This is definitely super niche, but I hate to say this, but this could actually be pretty helpful in solo raid. So there are definitely situations where it can be difficult to hit the interrupt parts depending on the boss. Some of them are quite easy, some of them can be a bit more of a struggle. So I could see that being relevant, and she ends up being possibly a staple healer in solo raid teams. But anyway, there's another effect in skill 1 still. It says activates after 90 normal attacks and affects all water code allies. Stacks of buffs go up by 1. So this is kind of a random little effect to throw in there. There was a lot of speculation that Alice was going to go well with Bunny Soda because in the patch note it said that she was going to be able to increase buff stacks, which of course would go well with Soda's coin thing, but this isn't even going to affect her. She's definitely not going on a shotgun team. She's not going to go with her other shotgun, Summer Anise, as we'll talk about a little bit later on as well. So she's either, you know, in theory going on an all water code team, but I think for the most part we can probably just ignore this. I think increasing buff stacks is generally a little bit gimmicky, but let me know if you guys have cooked up anything or you've seen anything cool online about people talking about ways to like really impactfully use the increased water ally buffs. It'd be cool. I'd be interested to hear it. Anyway, so for skill 2, called More Carrots, I actually like that name, activates after full burst ends, affects all allies. Burst gauge filling speed goes up by 10% for 5 seconds. So this is really interesting. This is pretty unique, not something we really see much. And rather than reducing the cooldown, it increases the filling speed. So in a way, this could just leave you sitting there with like not much of anything to do for even longer if you don't have cooldown reduction. But I could see this being really, really potent with a lot of cooldown reduction. So, you know, if you're like getting massive cooldown reduction from someone like, you know, Leader, of course, or Double D, and then you also fill up your gauge super fast with Alice. I mean, her own burst generation is going to be pretty low because of being a a submachine gun, but it affects all allies. So this could be pretty crazy. You know, that's, yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see how this tests out, how the timing actually works. But I could see this like being pretty potent, and just like going through like burst would be pretty cool. Okay, so let's take a look at what else it does. Activates when entering full burst, affects all allies. Max ammo capacity goes up by 40% for 15 seconds, and reload by 40%. Okay, so this is a really good ability. This is why you won't want to pair her with Summer Niece, because of course any units with last bullet mechanics isn't going to be good with this. But yeah, this is just a very strong looking skill. She's looking good, guys. She's looking good. Okay, so skill 1. Big carrot, cooldown time 40 seconds, and affects all allies. Re-enter burst skill stage 1. So effectively, she's going to be a burst 0. So this is like what we saw with Winter Rupee, and of course with Tia. So this is the third unit that we have that does this mechanic. She is a burst 1, but also not a burst 1. You'll need to pair her with another burst 1 for her to function properly. Otherwise, you'll just get stuck on the burst 1 cycle and not be able to go into full burst. But what does it do? So recovers 27% of caster's final max HP as HP. That's really good. That's a big heal that we're going to get. And then activates when Carrot Party is fully stacked, affects all allies. HP potency goes up by 150% for 15 seconds. So HP potency increases the healing effect. So anytime she's using her skill 1 to heal, she's going to heal even more. So just like heals like crazy. So strong effect. The caveat here is that's a 40-second cooldown. So remember how I said that I could see her being a potentially a solo raid staple healer? Maybe not. 40 seconds is not good. She has all very strong effects. These are all really good skills. But with being 40 seconds, you know, that puts her in a very similar position to someone like Noise, who has a 40-second cooldown. So she's going to be off burst rotation. So her being a, you know, burst 0 or needing to pair her with another burst 1 is kind of irrelevant, honestly, because, you know, just like with Noise, we always need to pair her with another burst 1 because she's going to be off cycle. So it makes Alice slightly better because you will also go off with your other burst 1 all the time, but you're still very, you know, you're restricted in how you can build your squads because you need 2 burst 1s. You know, I don't know. It's good that she has really strong healing because she's only bursting every other time. Is she going to be good with like maybe doing like a water team with like Summer Mary? I don't know. Maybe that's too much healing. I don't know. We'll have to test her out. I mean, honestly, she looks really strong, but having the 40-second cooldown definitely limits your possibilities. And although she doesn't do the same things as Noise, I mean, Noise, of course, taunts. But I think that's like the most direct comparison we can make. Noise, you know, will also serve as like your fast charger, building up a lot of burst speed, whereas Alice kind of like fills up your burst gauge faster another route with her skill 2. So definitely, you know, I don't know, I think that's like the most similar comparison there. I will be trying to pull for at least one copy of Alice Wonderland Bunny. Let me know if you're planning to pull for her. And yeah, I don't know. Let me know what your thoughts are on her. She's very strong, but being a 40-second cooldown does limit her possibility, but that definitely does not make her unusable by any means. And yeah, make sure you subscribe for more Nikke videos, and I will be streaming Stellar Blade doing the boss run challenge later tonight. And of course, I'll be streaming the normal Nikke scheduled stream tomorrow night. Okay, catch you guys in the next video or stream.